So here's 10 ways to start a business. The first thing is you need to identify what you're passionate about. Now, why do I say passion? Because if you wake up every single day, like, business is hard. But if you don't enjoy the thing that you do, you're not going to continue doing the thing that you do. In fact, one of the acid tests is if you get up every single day to do this thing that you've set out to do, but yet you're not motivated to do it, the chances of you giving up is going to be really high because there's going to be a lot of resistance. When you start a business, business requires a lot of resilience, requires a lot of grit. And that's why you must always enjoy doing it. That's why finding something you're passionate about. So for example, something I'm passionate about is that I love learning a lot of business, self-development, investing strategies, and I like to test it on myself to see if it works. And then I like to share them with people who really want to learn, right? That's something I'm passionate about. I'm passionate and I love to take what's in my head, put into video, create content to really help people. I want to give people those little nuggets of wisdom in business, investing, entrepreneurship to really help grow to the next level. And I know a lot of people are really looking to get into this. And that's why, for me, I've been doing this for 20 years. That's something I'm super passionate about. Second thing is when you start a business, you also want to conduct market research. What do I mean by this? Well, when you're conducting market research, you got to make sure that whatever you're doing right now, make sure that there is demand for it. So there's a really good software called Google Keyword Planner. And basically what it does is it tracks everything that people are typing into Google. If I'm going to be selling sports shoes, I might type in buy trainers, right? And I'll see how much demand there is. If there's only one person looking for it, there's no demand. If there are thousands of people looking for it, there's lots of demand. And that's why we always advise that people are doing what we call an MVP, which stands for a minimum viable product. When you create something little first to test it out and see if people even buy that. If they don't buy the little thing, they're not going to buy the big thing. So that's really important to start figuring out. And the third thing is you want to start developing a business plan. Now, I'm not talking about a traditional business plan. You have to have everything in place, but try and do some simple numbers. Figure out what the target goal is. Let's say you want to make 100,000 in your first business. Okay, how many units would you have to shift to do that? Right? So for example, let me put 100,000 in here, right? So 100,000. So let's say I sell something for just $100 divided by 100. That means I only have to sell 1,000 units a year. If I can sell 1,000 units a year, and if I divide that by 365, it works out 2.7. So if I can just sell 3 units at $100, you can basically make 100,000. So that's how you have to work it out. So when I'm saying developing a business plan, that's what I mean. Number 4 is make sure that you're looking at funding, right? Because at some point you want to scale your business. So you might want to do some seed funding or pre-seed funding. You say, this is my idea, and then work how much money you need, and then maybe get either an investor or a business partner to come in and to fund that. One of my friends actually created this incredible planner. It's called the Passion Planner. And she had an idea and she just put this on a website called Kickstarter, right? So there's lots of these websites that will crowdfund if they like your idea. I can't remember the numbers exactly, but she had I think 12,000, 13,000 people. I think it's more than that actually, who basically put a small amount in, but she raised enough money to basically put this planner together. And now she sold millions of these. So I just think it's incredible that, what happens is a lot of people think that they need to have money to start a business, when in actual fact, the money's already there. You need to have a good idea that's unique, that people haven't done before, or you have a different spin on it. Next one is choose a suitable location. So do you want to have a local business or do you want to have a global business? For me, I choose to have a global business. What do I mean by this? So global business so I have an online business. So that's why online I can reach anyone around the world. Like if you're watching this right now, maybe some of you are in Asia, some of you in Europe, some of you in the Middle East, some of you in the US, North America. You can reach all corners of the earth when you're online. Problem is, if you're a local business, only the footfall of people in that area can come to your business. So actually, for me, if I was going to advise you to do this, I would say actually have a global business instead of a local business. 6 things, of course, register your business. So get your business bank accounts, go to your bank, tell them that, what your company name is. And especially in the UK, you can just go to Company's House. In 10 minutes, you can have a company up and running. Take that to the bank. You get your business bank accounts now as well. So the good thing about this is expenses can be offset on your business. So then you pay less tax, right? So let's say, for example, you fly around the world a lot, or you buy a company car and you need petrol to have these meetings, or you train tickets. A lot of those can be offset. So for me, I choose locations around the world where I go and I shoot content, right? That is for, I guess, content creation, but I'm also there and I can have some fun as well. So that's why, think of how you actually build this and get it to the next level, which means to the next point of you got to build a brand. So one of the reasons why I put up a lot of these videos on business entrepreneurship is people always reach out to me and say, John, I know you're the business guy. And actually one of my skill sets is to be able to unlock money in people. right? So for example, I know a lot of you have that $1 million idea. I know a lot of you have been trying to pursue something for a long time, but you haven't done. My goal is to get that combination code to open the door and open the floodgates so you can keep moving forward and so you can gain that momentum. That's why a lot of people watch this channel. And if you know anybody who really would like to start a business, by the way, forward this video to them because it'll really help them. And the 8th thing is you want to have launching a marketing campaign. See, business is nothing if people don't know your business exists. If you're invisible, no one's going to come to you. So you got to make sure that you have a marketing campaign. So for example, you could do something called a product launch formula. So Jeff Walker talked about this, where you get a lot of people interested in what you have to offer, so even before it's offered. And this is, again, one of the ways you can do an MVP is you just create a Google form, you give it to people, hear all the things that people are interested in, and then you tell them about it. And then straight after that, you launch it and then they buy, right? It's simple as that. And the next one is set up your operations. So are you going to be a digital business or like a digital nomad whether you don't have a physical office? In the olden days, you used to have like physical offices. Nowadays, people, they work from anywhere in the world. It's not just about creating financial freedom. It's not just about creating time freedom, but also location freedom. So I can take this camera and I can film it from anywhere in the world. I just have the mic, I have a background, I talk, and I kind of share my thoughts. So the idea of this is set up your operations. And actually, a lot of the ways people do now, they just have what we call a virtual office. So if there's any physical posts and things, they go to a virtual office and then they send it to your address. But the great thing about this is the costs are low, which means that you can stay lean and be very profitable. By the way, if any of you would love to learn more about marketing, business, entrepreneurship, make sure you check out success.club. I'll put a link below this and you can check out the club. We actually have a club where a lot of entrepreneurs come and they teach specific strategies on marketing, branding, business, and investing. So if you guys want to learn that, go and check it out a little bit later. And the next one is you want to monitor and adapt. What do I mean by this? A lot of people, when they start businesses, they don't monitor what's working, what's not working. So they'll do all these different things only to find out actually it's the 20% of things that's actually really moving the needle, where the other 80% is people not really paying close attention to that, but they're trying to do everything. I'll give an example of this. When I used to source a lot of property deals, I would go to estate agents, I would find deal sources, I would go to networking events, I would do advertising on Google, I would go to a lot of developers. And actually what I found was the two best places I got deals were at networking events and also paid online advertising through Google. But you got to put in where the time is, right? So for example, how do I get a lot of speaking engagements? People ask me, John, you fly all around the world, you do a lot of keynotes. So a lot of that comes from going to an industry event, meeting the promoters, keeping in touch with the promoters, sending a show reel into the promoters, right? Then they follow you on social media, then they start seeing your content, and then they hire you to come speak. You got to have a process on how that works, right? It doesn't just happen automatically. You got to have different specific ways on monitoring what's working and then adapting to the situation. Also, for example, I used to run a lot of physical in-person events. And of course, what happened in the whole craziness in the world, we weren't allowed to run live events anymore. So then we started doing a lot of events online. This is how we can adapt. And actually, since then, I've not really gone back to any live events. We actually do run some masterminds as well. If any of you love to meet me in person in different masterminds, anything I talk about, just check out the link below. We've got a link tree there with all the different things in there. We'd love to be able to have the opportunity to work with some of you as well. But also, I'm going to link a video at the end of this so you'll see that. But one more thing about monitoring the progress. You can't improve something you cannot measure. So the important thing about this is making sure that you measure the entire process and look at what's yielding the best results, and then you double down on it. And if you do that, your business will definitely grow. If you like this video, make sure you like the video and subscribe. And what I'll do is I'll upload brand new content. Before that, check out this video here. It'll really help you gain more momentum in this field.